You need to get outside more. Do some playing outside.
Yeah, you can build things out. You could build a fort outside.
What?
Yeah, build a fort. Play with your friends and have
Make a fort outside?
Yeah.
And do what?
Have little.
Do what in the fort?
When I was a kid, we used to build tree houses and play with sticks.
Nobody plays with sticks.
You and Charlotte can have a lemonade stand.
Play kick the can.
Look for dead bodies.
It's fun. That's fun to do.
Get a tire and then just take a stick and run down a street with it.
Nobody does that crap. It's 2012.
You don't need technology.
No technology.
Charlotte, put that down.
Technology has changed the world as we know it. Since the Industrial Revolution in 1760, the world has never stopped coming up with new products that give us a taste of the future. Things like flying cars and hovering skateboards were once only seen in the movies and imagined in our dreams, but now are becoming a reality. Technology is truly making the world a smaller place. 1878 was the year Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, and little did he know what a revolution he was about to create. In 1900, a man named Reginald Fessenden made the first wireless telephone call, and the cellular renaissance exploded from there. Today we have things like the iPhone and tablets that allow us to communicate with people on several different social medias at the same time. We can talk to people that live all the way around the world with just a touch of a finger. The boundaries of communication have been made limitless, and this is just the beginning. With the rise in technology come skeptics, and with every new product invented comes the fear that old ways of communicating and speaking may be left behind. After all, literacy is what makes us who we are. It has always been the main weapon in communication, but could that change? Could there really be a more effective way of communicating that breaks the rules of literacy and tests the bonds of intelligence? Word abbreviations and laziness becomes not just a bad habit, but also a way of life. People like John Sutherland fear that abbreviations are destroying the English language. Sutherland is referenced in the article To Be or Not to Be by David Crystal when he refers to texting as bleak, bald, sad shorthand, drab shrink talk, linguistically it's all pig's ear, in mass dyslexia, poor spelling, and mental laziness. Texting is penmanship for illiterates. A study described by P. Plester in the article Text Messages in School Literacy showed that higher text users scored extremely low on the verbal and nonverbal reasoning measurements when compared to the non-texters. This could suggest that texting has a negative effect on verbal and nonverbal literacy. In addition to believing that cell phones are destroying the English language, critics are worried that technology is blurring the lines between private and public, as well as work and private life. Relationships that were once restricted to face-to-face communication can now thrive across major geographical and linguistic barriers. New technology is overlapping social spheres that were once very distinct. Critics like Rain Wee and Louis Leung, authors of the article Blurring Public and Private Barriers in Public Space, believe that cell phones are to blame for this overlap. Wee and Leung say that with mobility and immediate access, it is changing the significance of space, time, and physical barriers to person communication. They use the example of a cell phone ringing in a public place. If a cell phone goes off somewhere like a concert hall, library, or movie theater, many people take that as being intrusive and annoying. As a result of the uncontrollable growth of cell phone use in public places, people like Wee and Leung believes that certain laws need to be put in place in order to reinforce the boundaries. In contrast, many supporters of cell phones believe that they are not affecting literacy, but actually allowing a better understanding of the English language and expanding it beyond just punctuations. Communication as we know it is changing, and the supporters of technology believe that the cell phone is not just a cool toy, but also the means by which a new language will arise. A language that is not just words and punctuations, but whatever the writer wants it to be. A language that allows communicators to express themselves and not just their choice of words, but the way in which they are writing them. One supporter of abbreviation is a man named David Crystal. In his article, To Be or Not to Be, he believes that abbreviating helps rather than hinders literacy. He says that critics blame cell phones for the creation of abbreviations, but actually people have been shortening words for centuries. IOU has been used ever since 1618, and in 1943, a man named Eric Partridge even published a dictionary on abbreviations. In reference to literacy, Crystal says, "Children could not be good at texting if they had not already developed considerable literacy awareness. Therefore, abbreviations are actually literary proof that texters understand the English language." After discussing both the positive and negative effects of cell phones on literacy and society as a whole, it is clear what side introduces a better argument. Pro-technology does not just have the better argument, but the critics of technology are stuck in the pre-technological past. 20 years ago, we would have never thought technology would exist like it does right now. Today, we can communicate with people in different countries in seconds, upload movies, and even work from home, all because of technology. With the age of texting comes fear that the English language may be forgotten in abbreviations. However, humanity is not losing literacy. We are entering into a world that is no longer based on length of a sentence, but the meaning of specific words in that sentence. This is not the first time in history that language has changed. In fact, at the very beginning of time, humans used drawings instead of words to tell the story of history. Hieroglyphics then evolved into symbols, and those symbols then turned into specific words and punctuations were added. Ever since the beginning of human existence, we have been trying to make objects easier and more reliable. Why should language be any different? Critics blame abbreviations on younger generations' stupidity, when in reality the younger generations are the smarter and more adaptable ones. Yes, the boundaries between public and private are dissolving, but that issue is minimal to the major advances in communication technology is creating.
Do you know why people buy an Apple? Why do they buy an Apple, not the competitor? Because it's got bravado. It's social status. No, you know what? It's even more than that. It's social currency. We've raised the bar. And if we want to stay there, we got to risk everything. Great artists, Dylan, Picasso, Newton, they risk failure. And if we want to be great, we got to risk it too.
On the command bar?
On everything. And it starts with the little things.
There's over 20 different functions tied to every single variation of the command bar, which, by the way, takes weeks to program.
We're not doing anything that IBM's not already doing. And I would rather gamble on our vision than make a Me Too product. We got to make the small things just